So hello, everybody. My name is Matt Curran, and today we're going to talk about making experiences with inside of the Convene platform. This is going to be a good, quick example of how we can do that. I'm going to share this over to my personal page while I do this real quick. And I'm pretty excited. This is really what Convene is all about. Convene is all about sharing your experiences and knowledge. And we do that through our learning management system. If you talk about Convene, it's a platform where we can connect, communicate, and collaborate. And inside the part where we create and we share experiences, we do that through a platform of experiential learning. And so you might say, well, what's experiential learning? And so what I believe is that as humans, we all learn through our life experiences. And so when we are learning through those life experiences, it gives us something to share. So when I go out and I speak, let's say at a conference, and I'm talking about decision making and how we as humans make decisions, I'm giving you my ideas and I'm teaching you through my stories. And so that's the way most people teach. We take the concept, we tie the concept to a story, and then we learn through that story. But what you're not realizing is that other people have a very similar story. So, I see Doc watching and all that. He and I have similar stories. When he was a corpsman for the Marine Corps and I was in the Marine Corps, we might have commonalities in a particular experience that when he comes into whatever I write as that learning example, he is able to share his thoughts and I can learn from his thoughts. And when that happens, it's done in an anonymous way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen here and let me get hold on one second. Stop sharing my screen real quick, and I got to get up the. All right, so I'm going to bring this back over here, and then give me just 1 second to get logged on as I share my screen. Okay, so I'm going to log into the Convene platform, and I'm going to go into the life community here. And as I log in, you'll see that we come in through the life community. And like I talked about the other day, it's based on our shared learning experience, right? And it's shared on communities of people that have a passion around something. So I'm going to go back in and use the entrepreneurs community again as an example, like I did the other day. And as I click on that and I enter it, then we can see here is the entrepreneurs community. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to click on create an experience. And I'm just going to do this as a test experience. What I'll do is every experience has an image. So I'm going to go out and grab an image from the desktop here from the other day. And I'm just going to grab this one, and it's our speakers. So for this example, I'm going to call this speaker experience. So everything, you have a name, and that name you want to kind of make it unique. So I can go back and I can say, hey, did you do the speaker experience? And so people might understand what I'm talking about. Each experience, there's categories that the community leaders put in or we put in as Convene. And so this one, it was Entrepreneurs Unite, right? So that's the category that helps with the searchability of everything as you get on the site and you go through it. And then you're going to see this. And so there's different aspects of an experience. And I'm just going to kind of quickly walk through this. So what is Convene and what are the experiences based off of? It's based off an adult learning theory concept. And through that adult learning theory concept, through experiential learning, we learn through experience, like I talked about earlier. So, but it's also based off of how I grew up and the things I did in the military. And it's based off scenario-based training. And so anytime in the military that we were doing a training exercise, we were getting ready to deploy, we would go through these exercises and we would always have an experience or a situation background. So you would give the situation, and from the situation, you might have information that lets you know what you were going to be involved in. So how Convene is created, the background really is kind of the overarching situation of what the experience is about. So in this one, if I was talking about the experiences of the speaker experience, I might introduce the speakers. Hey, in this particular experience, we have 15 different speakers there, and I might give some credentials about each one, or maybe the titles of what they're talking about. Um, Another example would be maybe if I was a first responder, I might say, hey, you just pulled up on a scene, car accident. You have three people that are hurt. And so I put you in that situation. It can just be as simple as a question. The experience inside of Convene that's been taken the most is one, it's called Three Things. What are three things that you're thankful for? And that's what the experience is. So you could kind of really kind of get anything that you want out of that, um, and put that in the background experience. And I'll talk about that in just a minute more. Presentation, you can take PowerPoints, you can take slides, you can build your own slides. That's what the presentation is. Questions are very important inside of Convene, because inside of Convene, the questions are the open-ended questions. They're who, what, when, where, why questions. And in those questions, that's where you want to engage people in a conversation about the experience. And I'm going to come back and really kind of nail this down here in just a minute, giving you a concrete example of how Convene was used and where it was used for training. The lesson learned. So I believe that in any experience, we have a lesson learned. And what is the lesson learned? Well, let's say it's an actual experience, and I'm talking about something that went on in my life, like parenting, or let's say coaching soccer. For example, there's some great examples of soccer coaching in there where we took video to teach my soccer team different concepts on the field, and we actually took video from that particular game. And so when these young girls were playing, they were really close together. Well, they didn't know they were close together until they saw it on the video. Well, in the lesson learned, we took a whiteboard and we actually drew where they each should have been, how they should have stayed spread out, and we explained to them. So from 1 week of going through those experiences to the next weekend's game, we were like a completely different team. Well, this could be something where, let's say it's a life experience. I come back and I say, at one point I was in this situation, or this is the situation that I was in life. This is what I did right. This is what I did wrong. This is how I can do it better. Now, if you're talking military speak, that's our debriefing, right? Well, everything you can debrief everything. Okay, if we had a game today, a soccer game today, how could we have played better? And if you have a parenting situation, what could we have done better? Or what did we do right? So the lesson learned allows you to go in there and put anything that you want. When I interview somebody in a podcast or a video vlog, or write a blog, normally I put all three inside of the experience. But in the lesson learned, I'll put something, I call it Wrap It Up with Matthew Curran. I'll go back and talk about that interview that I did with that person and just kind of give my wrap up, my thoughts, my debrief on what we had just talked about. Testing. I'm going to do a whole separate experience or boot camp on testing. And the reason why I say that is because inside of Convene, you can give pre-test, post-test, open book test, closed book test. You can randomize answers, randomize questions. So there's a lot that you can do to get data from that. But also on the backside of that, if you're the one who's giving that test, you can get backside data. You can get who got what question right, who got what question wrong, and if that data shows that, let's say you're trying to teach somebody a learning point, if everybody's getting it wrong, then you need to go back and look at your training. You need to look at what you have taught them, because if they're all getting it wrong, then you're missing something in your training. You have not gotten that point across. Again, I'm going to come back and touch on that concept here in just a minute. Surveys are the same way. Surveys are just like a test, except you're just looking for, do you like this particular concept? Do you not like this particular concept? Or asking a question, did I do this right? Did I do this wrong? Or asking, do you like this? Do you not like this? And giving them the choices. It will give you the data on the backside so you can see just a regular survey of what people think about that, but you can see it in bar graphs and all those different things. And then the last is a discussion board. So the discussion board gives you the ability for people after they take the experience to continue that conversation. When they continue that conversation, they can do it as themselves or they can do it anonymously. They also have the ability to come in and add in their own discussion board. So you can have from an experience, people can continue to add discussion boards. So what we've done is we've built templates with inside of Convene, and in these templates, I can take and add different stuff in there or take different things away, like which ones do I want to use and then I can also come in and customize it, for example. So once I customize it, let's just say the background will always be there. But let's say I just wanted a background in the survey. I wanted to do an after action report. Maybe that's what I do. I just put the background in the survey in there, but I can pick and choose what I want here. And that allows people just to do exactly what they want. For this one, I'm just going to share my story, information, or a passion. And just to make it simple, that's going to be a background and then a discussion board. So visibility, public, private, or Premier. Premier is not sitting here on this one because I did it on the public dashboard. If you were doing this for a paid course, inside a paid course, it would be a Premier course that goes inside of that paid group that you created. Anonymous. So I can write experiences anonymous. I'll tell you a quick story about this. So a couple of years ago, I asked my daughter to write an experience, and she started writing it about being kind of bullied on Instagram. And she kept asking me, "Hey, Dad, they won't know it's me. They won't know that I wrote this." And so the point within Convene is that sometimes people don't want to share their full story. They don't want it to come out that it is them. When they come out and select, they can either write it as themselves or they can write it anonymously. And that allows them to write something. There's people that write about their battles with depression, drugs, alcohol, so it gives them a place to come and get, that advice and write certain things in there. Customizable certificates. We can talk about that in another one as well. I'll show you how to customize certificates, and then you can add a due date. The short description goes on the picture. So when people come in and they're looking at the experiences, that's where that is. And you'll be able to see that. So once I submit that, you'll see that the picture's here. I can crop that picture. 300 by 300 is what we look for in that picture. So if you're using Canva, is what we use a lot, or we have somebody that makes our graphics now. But if you're doing something like that, that is exactly what you want. 300 by 300. And then you'll see the different things that you can put in. I can have co-authors or not have co-authors. So if I want to come in and I want to edit the experience and put something in there, we talked about the writer the other day. I can come in and add a video here. I can add a picture. I can write it accordingly and just have a lot of information in there. And that's in another video as well. And then, for example, in here, let me just add a picture so I can, oh, there you go. I exited out of it. And then in the discussion topic. So I can come in, I can put the discussions topic here. Like I said, I can post anonymously, and then I can go in there. So it's going to make you, speaker's experience, it's going to make you the system. You have to put all the elements in before you can submit it. All right, so I'll go ahead and submit that. So you can see now it's counting down. I got to put background information in there. So I can click here, or I can go down here and click edit. And computer's a little slow, so I got a lot of running. And I'm just going to put speakers, enter our speaker experience also here. All right, so once I submit that, you'll see that it's ready to submit. Now, this is important here, or one more thing. Let me touch one more thing before I talk about submitting. I can add documents in here. So I can add any PDF, any PowerPoint, anything that I want to that particular experience before I submit it. Okay, I want to go back and talk real quick conceptually about the pre-test, post-test. There's a business that used this a couple of years ago. 'And the learning methodology that goes behind Convene and what we do it helped this business take two scenarios that they were involved in, where they lost a lot of money, lost millions of dollars, and they had to put all the 450 people that worked in this particular area of this company through these experiences. And we wrote them and they ended up taking them, but they had to take a pre-test and a post-test. When they took the pre-test, their pre-test pass fail was 60%. When they took the post-test, because of the learning methodology that we put them through, they had a 100% pass rate. So that's one of the things that this learning methodology brings. When I submit it, it'll go into waiting for approval. All right. So I'm going to go to the dashboard and I'm going to say, okay, let's see, waiting for approval. So why do we make approvals happen with inside of Convene? So here's why. And on the public side of the house, we only make it where you have to get an approval on the public side of the house for experiences, because we want to make this a safe place. We want to make it where people come in and they are taking experiences and there's not anything inappropriate in there. So we do this through an approval process where the community leaders or the admins end up having to approve it. So for example, if I got this email, I would be notified. I'd click on the experience and then I could review it for approval. Once I went in and I checked everything out, I can approve it or I can deny it. If for some reason I deny it, it will ask me to add a note to that person. So I can put the reasons why I denied it and it'll send you back an email, or I can just click approve. And once I do that, the speaker experience is published and it is here. You can see it is on the dashboard down here in my experiences. If I want to come back in and I'm like, okay, well, I really don't like that one. Or I do like that one. Remember we talked about share links the other day. You can share it out to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and then or I can copy it and share it. It has my affiliate share link on there. And then the other things I can do is I can assign it out to different groups that I'm an owner of there. I can also assign a co-author. But let's just say I'm like, okay, I need to go back in and edit it. I need to do add some more to it. I can go back in and edit it there. Once I edit it, it has to go back through the approval process, just so everybody knows that. And then let's say I'm like, I don't like this experience. It's not relevant. I can delete it. So there we go. I just deleted that experience because there's no need for that to be in there. Okay. So today is just a quick overview of experiences. If you have any kind of questions for me, just let me know. And other than that, Anthony, I see you watching, and you and I are going to be on a call here together here real soon so we can go over all of this stuff. All right. I appreciate everybody watching. Anthony, I'll see you in just a little bit, and hope you enjoyed this quick video on how to write experiences.